been a while. It's been actually almost half a year or a year since I've uploaded. Yeah, it's been about a half a year. It's crazy. I'm really sorry that I haven't been consistent. It's just I've been dealing with a lot of personal things and just finishing school and getting a job, going into the real world now that when you graduate and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a while. I think the last video I made was about getting a job at Walmart, or getting a better opportunity to work at a better job while I go to school. And man, just to believe that was the main issue at the time. Like, I remember leaving Bill Miller's, right, wanting to work Walmart and work in a stress-free environment. That was my biggest worry at the time, was just getting a small gig, a small job that pays pretty decent, that doesn't treat you like garbage, right? That was my main issue, right? And now, recently, my main issue was, how am I going to survive student teaching as an internship? How am I going to pass my exams, my state exams? How am I going to get a job? Am I going to graduate? Like, all those things are way more important than before, right? And then even more important, hey, how do I get the job? That's the most. And then now the more important thing is, now how do I teach everything in a coherent way? It's just crazy how when you're in college, the stakes get higher and higher over time, and it's like, it's never enough. It's always going to be. And I've always noticed that, I always thought that, okay, well, I set the bar here, there's nothing that's gonna have to be, I don't have to go higher, I don't have to go achieve a higher goal. But like, I'm seeing that that's not really reality. You're always gonna have to push yourself until you stay in this place that you're more or less secure or comfortable. But guys, it's been a long time. We have a lot to talk about. So this video, guess it's just a follow-up. Here is how I was able to score the job on all my interviews, as opposed to my other colleagues that I've known in college from my freshman year. I'm talking about, we go back 4 years. When I first was like 18, and I was like my freshman year, we were in like, I would say like the lower freshman tier classes where there's a lot of us. And then as a time, we went to less of us, and there was only like 5 of us left that ended up graduating together. And it's crazy. It started big and it got smaller. But here's how I was able to get the job and get job offers at all 4 of my, I guess you would say, interviews, against my colleagues who I believe are a little bit more knowledgeable than me, a bit more seasoned, a little bit more experienced. And that can be a positive and negative, right? And it's always important as an educator, as I go on this channel, right, I've always wanted to be a teacher, is that you need to know your limits. You need to know what you know and what you don't know, and how you're going to learn what you don't know. Because you don't want to teach something that you're really not capable or experienced in, right? Like, I know that I know a good amount of stuff, and I can learn even more. That's because I started a little bit late, but that doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing. It just means I need, a little bit at a time practice. So here's how I did that. Check it out. First thing, guys, the way to get the job, I believe in any interview, but in my case, a teaching position or a public job, is number 1, boom, you have to be confident. There is nothing more important that a principal or a manager or a CEO or, let's see, district manager, supervisor, area manager, nothing more that they want to see than you being confident. And I even heard, and I'm not trying to blow my own horn here, but I've asked them, like, what do you see in a candidate? What is it that you seek, right? Not mostly the skill set, that's important, but what do you really like other than that? And they would usually tell me, confidence. You can be the most 4.0 GPA honor roll student. You're in the National Honor Society, which I was in, but other people were in more prestigious ones, right? They were a little bit higher GPA, maybe a little smarter than me. But none of that matters, guys, if in the interview you got no confidence. If you're timid and they're saying, why should we hire you? Oh, well, I think I'm good. I think I can. No, it's not I think. I know. I will. I can. You have to be confident to score that position. That's the most important thing, all right? second thing. You need to come up with a plan or a revision or something. So if you, in my case, what is your plan to be a teacher? Give us a rough layout, or what are you going to do to improve? What are you going to, what are you going to expand upon our program at the school? I guess in a management position, how are you going to change the way we manage things? How are you going to change the way the business is, how we advertise, market, support the customers? So you always need to find a solution to the problem, right? It's kind of like the engineering process. In the engineering process I learned in high school, because I was going to be an engineer, robotic engineer, is that there's 12 steps to the engineering process. The first thing is, or any entrepreneur, or any person that invents things, is you got to know what is the problem that people are facing and how do you fix that. For example, how people need to get from the other side of the country to another side. That's a problem. How do they fix it? They meant the boat or a car. In this case, I'm gonna make a plan to make people love music more, or choir, or guitar, or whatever. That's the second thing. You make a plan. The third thing is you got to do your research about the place. Believe it or not, I personally think managers and people in the interview process love and enjoy when you do your research, right? So if you're going to do a job, make sure you get your skill sets towards that genre, not genre, but it's more in that area of discipline, right? Do your research on the company, what the company's core beliefs are, what they were founded on, when they were established, what do they have, what do they do in the public, in the community. So do your research and be like, look, I know who you are, I know you were involved in this program and you did this and this. Here's how I want to improve upon that. Here's what I think I can do to support and add to your your community and your atmosphere and what you do at your work. By doing that, you're showing them that, one, you have confidence, two, you know what you're doing. Oh shoot, went the wrong exit. And three, that you're willing to do your time and research to better help your chances of getting hired, right? If I were to go hire and they're like, well, what do you know about the school? What do you know about the company? I don't know. Like, if you're saying I don't know, I think they're good, it just makes you not as qualified, right? As opposed to someone says, okay, what do you know about the company? What do you know about the school? Oh, well, I know that you made the school in 1978. It's had revisions, it's had many teachers, it's had many managers, whatever. And I know that your goal on your statement on your website is this. Here's how I support that and I define that. And that is how you make them surprised. And then the last thing is you have to, let's see, we have the first one. Let's see. You have to take charge. Give me 1 second. All right, came to me. I had a brain fart. Number 4, the fourth reason how you can get the spot possibly at your job that you're interviewing is you need to please. You need to say why they should hire you. If they don't ask you, why should we hire you? Because everyone's going to say that sometimes. If they don't say, well, what makes you different? If they don't say, why should we hire you? Right? Then you're going to put that into even though they don't ask it, you're going to put it in a way that you're saying it. So they ask you questions, they go down the list, and before you leave, it's important. The first thing and the last thing is what people remember. And in music, it's the same thing. But in an interview, if you're nervous in the beginning, they're gonna say, "Oh, that guy has no confidence. I don't think he's good to work with customer service." But if you end the interview with a very confident, very sturdy, firm way of saying things up front, you're gonna be more admirable and more desirable, I believe. And so that's where you need to say, I think you should hire me, sir and sir, because here's what I offer to the team, here's what I offer to the students or the customers or the business or our investors or whatever, and here's what I can do differently, and here's what makes me different. If they don't ask you, don't just assume that they don't care. They care. They would even care even more if you can make that and mold it into your statement. And another thing, that's it. Use action verbs. Like I will, I can, I will. Don't say I think, maybe, I don't know. things that are not assurance type of words, right? Because you just don't sound confident. Sound confident in your speaking. And I guess number 5 is the last thing. You need to be social, right? Be happy. Act like you want to be there, and make yourself have that fun personality. If you're going to be, I don't know, in Starbucks or in a certain type of job that requires a certain atmosphere or type of personality, appeal to that personality. Speak in that type of language, that type of diction, that type of syntax. If you're going to be a lawyer, use those types of verbs. Use things that you've done in your past in your resume that will make you stand out, right? In my case, it's music. I use a lot of music terms. I use a lot of education, pedagogy, things that teachers who are principals know. And they're like, okay, this person knows what they're doing. So these are the top 4 to 5. It's not really a must 5 or you won't get hired. It's just more of a, if you include these 4 things or 5 things, you might get a chance. And I'm telling you, right after I got out of the interview, I saw my colleague that I've known my whole life at UTSA or my college, 4 years. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a hard company. I might not get this job. This guy's a little bit better than me. You know, I'm a humble person. I know when someone's better, and I'm gonna accept that. And it's not about competition. It's just about bettering yourself or your students. But I said, man, this is a really good teacher. It's gonna be hard to get this job. And now I'm not saying I was more confident than him, but I think that the way you talk, right, it overshadows really sometimes like what you know. Sometimes, for example, you can be the most smartest person, the most best teacher, future teacher, but if you don't make a good resume, or you don't have the good speaking skills, social skills, or, you know, a conversation skills, then that gold, that precious, which is you, will never get shown, right? If you keep making errors in your resume, or you don't know how to speak with confidence, or you don't arrive on time, that's another thing, arrive on time, then none of that matters. So I'm not saying that's what I did and he didn't, and I'm better than him. I'm just saying that can be a possible thing, and I've seen it in the past. And I'm not old enough to say I know my years, but all the jobs I've gone to, it mostly stays correct. Some people are better qualified, but because I showed up and gave those traits, those 5 things, made me stand out from them differently. So I'm gonna go ahead and end that video, guys. 4 to 5 things you really should consider. First thing is you should really oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart again. Never mind. You know what I did. You know what I mean. This is a really bad video, but you know what I mean. Just watch the video again. Those are the 4 or 5 things, guys. Really raw video because I want to get it out. But go ahead and like this video, comment, let me know if you need help with any interview questions, and good luck, guys.